This
So,
conference will now be recorded.
so in the last class, we started discussing about constructors. There are two types of constructors. One is a normal constructor. The second one is a parameterized constructor. When you come to normal constructor, we can able to define our own constructor by using def underscore underscore int underscore underscore in bracket self to initialize the method automatically when you're creating an object. Not method. You can say to initialize the NSVs, non-static variables. We are going to use constructors. We are, and the second method is parameterized constructor. That means you are going to be pass some values and assigning to your NSVs. So this is a second type of constructor. The method is same. Instead of you giving your own name, you are going to use the same method underscore underscore init underscore underscore in bracket self. After the self, you are going to use a comma and pass a local variable. That is going to be parameterized constructor. Let me show you. So parameter constructor. This is the topic for today. So class sample. There is a the class name is sample def underscore underscore init underscore underscore self. Self.x. This is going to be a non-static variable equal to 0. Self.y equal to 0. So that means the initial values for x and y values both are non-static variables are 0 0. S1 equal to sample class name. Nothing but object has been initiated. Object has created with reference of sample class. Print s1.x. Print s1.y. As these two are non-static variables, we are going to be prefixed with object. S1.x and S1.y equal to 10 and 20. 10 and 20 are given. Now print S1.x and print S1.y. So these are going to be update the new values like 10 and 20 and store it into x and y values, and it is going to be print as 10 and 20. You can see here in my blue color, the third and fourth one. You're getting that one. Similarly, when I'm coming to S2 equal to sample, that means the second object has been created, initialized, and when you say print s2.x and print s2.y, system is going to take the new values, old values 0 and 0, which is a updated in your old method. Again, you are going to be create new values like s2.x and s2.y, like 40 and 50. Then the new values has been assigned to x and y. So don't you think that here the problem here is s1 s2 s3 s4 or s1 s2 s1 s2 up to sn? How many objects you created for all the objects? The x and y values, when you want to be modify it, you need to modify prefix with the object creation, and you have to do multiple steps. So assume that there is a 7 s n number of objects. N number of objects are there. That means to modify the x and y values n number of times, you have to create s1 s n dot x equal to so and so number, s n dot y equal to so and so number. Are you accepting that? Because the previous object values will not be overwrite updated to second object, or second object values will not be updated to third object. So for when you're initiating a new instance is created as an object, then the x and y values will not be, will take the old values whatever you have in your method or in constructor. So you can see here default values are 0 and 0, and then later assigned or modified with some values. What we are doing, just like x1 dot x equal to so and so, s1 dot y equal to so and so. But initially only I want 10 and 20. So what is my intention here is, when I'm creating an object, that time itself the system has to be considered x value is so and so, y value is so and so. Though the in a constructor x and y are default 0 0, but when I'm creating a constructor for s1, system has to consider 10 and 20. When I'm creating a s2 object, system has to be considered 40 and 50. I don't need to be entered s2 equals to so and so, s2 equals to so and so. or user defined values for every object I want. Those scenario, I go with parameterized constructor. In the sense, you can see here disadvantage of default constructor, nothing but traditional method constructor, is here every time the constructor is initializing with a non-static variable with some same value. So whenever I'm calling a new object, my default x and y values will be called. And later, based on my need for a particular object, I'm changing x and y values. But what my intention is, the values what supposed to be have for s1 object or s2 object or sn object should be default one. Like s1 supposed to be 10 and 20, s2 supposed to be 40, 50, sn supposed to be some other number. So I want to make it as default. So can I do that one? Means the only one method what you can follow is parametric constructor. There is another example you can see here. Disadvantage of default constructor is I have a class student and I have a constructor. By default, I'm giving Amar name and name is Amar and age is 25, and I prefix with self because NS is s1 equal to student. So first object has been initialized. Print s1 dot name, print s1 dot age. So these two, since there is no modification of the name and age, system is going to print the default one as Amar and 25. Now I am overwriting name and age with name as Giri and age as 27. Do not think bad, Giri. I don't know whether you are younger than to me or elder than to me. Just I entered for example purpose. So s1 dot name equal to Giri and s1 dot age equal to 27. So again I printed. Now the object is same. So my name and age are overwrite with Giri and Giri age. Now I'm creating another object s2 dot name and s2 dot age. Since the object is created again, for the second object, the default values will be Amar and 25. Now, I've overrated with many details. So when I overrated for this object, then the revised values will be updated for the second object. Now, if you see the disadvantage here, every time the constructor is initializing with a non-static variable with the same values, nothing but Amar and 25. But I want different values for each object during the object creation only. So when I'm creating an S1 object, system has to be considered Giri and his age. When I'm creating second object S2, it has to be considered Amini and her age, but not Amar and 25, default one. Then we go with parameter constructor, which specify the different values for each object. Now, how to create parameter constructor? Now you can see here, a constructor with parameters is called parameter constructor. So class test def underscore underscore init underscore underscore in bracket self, since it is a constructor and I want to be automized, so I'm using, and it is going to be a parameter constructor. I'm going to give two parameters, local variables a comma b. A comma b are the parameters which I'm passing for my constructor. So constructor with parameters. Self dot x equal to a, self dot y equal to b. Here I'm not doing static numbers like x is so and so number, y is so and so number. I just given my local variable as a map to my non-static variables. And df m1 self p comma q. So r equal to p plus q, print sum of the r. Now I have four local variables a, b, p, q, and another and r also local variable. Self dot x and self dot y are non-static variables. Now I'm creating an object called t1, and the t1 object is created with reference of class test, and I'm passing two variables 10 comma 20. Now you tell me what exactly did. When I say print t1 dot x, t1 dot x means what? What value will be printed? Anyone there?
What? T1 dot of
T1 dot x, which value? What is the value? I'm not getting you, Giri.
once. Head number.
10. So what kind of assignment is? Is it a position or a parameter or a variable and local variable? How, what kind of position it is? Position placing, right? 10 first position value will go to first variable, right?
Yes.
So that means we already discussed about this concept, parameters, the long back. Same concept is applied here also. It's a position based assignment. A, if you, unless until if you give A equal to 20 and B equal to 10, it will not be considered. It will by default, it will be considered those scenarios, or by default it will go with position based, and B will be 20, nothing but T1 dot Y equal to 20. And now I'm referring the method M1. So object creation T1. So T1 dot M1 in bracket 15 comma 25. So the P value will be 15 and Q value will be 25. So the total sum is going to be 40. The 40 will be stored in R and it will print as sum R. Sum of the P and Q is going to be 40.
40.
Now again, yeah. Again I'm creating another object T2. So test 30 comma 50. So system is going to take P equal to 30 and Q equal to, sorry, A equal to 30, B equal to 50. So T2 dot X is going to be 30 and T2 dot Y is going to be 50. And T3 similarly, whether it can be float, whether it is going to be integer, whatever it may be, it will be considered. So this way we can able to reduce the number of lines what you are writing, what you are creating after creation of the object creation. Instead of taking a default one, you are passing your parameters, nothing but local variables, and mapping to your non-static variables. Any questions on this? This is another one. Constructor with parameters. So self a comma b, self dot x equal to a, self dot y equal to b. So local variables are a and b, and non-static variables are self dot x, x and y. And again you are defining for the same one, only. I just copied by mistake 2 times. So class student df underscore underscore init underscore underscore self name comma age, parameter constructor. So self dot student name equal to name, self dot student age equal to age. So in the previous example, Amar is the name, age is 25 by default. But now the values what I'm passing to the object, that values will be considered. So df display self, print student name, print student age. Now S1 object is created. I am, for a class I'm passing two parameters. Name is going to be Amar and age is going to be 20. So system automatically stored student name as based on the position variables. So first variable goes to first value goes to first variable, second value goes to second variable. So name is going for Amar and age is going for 20. And when you say display, system is going to display it. In the left hand side you can see the blue color, student name Amar and student age 20. When you say S1 dot display, because those two are print options. And S2 variable I'm creating with Giri and 25. So the values will be stored for Giri and 25. The name is going for Giri and age is going for 25. When you say S2 dot display, system is going to display Giri and his age. Similarly S3. Any questions? Amar, is the same thing I approached when you come to previous example means now you can see the code hardly 2 lines by passing the same variables while creation of the object. the number of lines has been reduced compared to the previous example. You can see here the same code only, but the number of lines has been reduced. First thing. Second thing is I am passing a while creation of the object itself. I'm not passing or I'm not modifying the values after creation. Before while creation only I modified the values, so the code has been reduced. So when you're going to the performance point, that time also that is going to give better results compared to this. So parameter constructions are going to be help you when you're writing a lengthy course. You can able to achieve with the previous example, or we can able to achieve with the current example, but you need to decide which one. You have to take your own call whether to approach parameter constructor or default constructor. When you go with default constructor, the number of lines may be increased. If it's a lengthy program, then it may lead to performance issue. If it's a normal program, you may not able to find the difference between those two. Any questions? And now there is another example for parameter constructors. Class customer application is the document string, nothing but how this class is going to be work. We are trying to say it's nothing but customer application program. Now bank name, ICICI bank. Now this bank name is a variable which is created within the class and outside of the methods and constructors. So it is going to be behave like a static variable. Now I'm creating my own constructors and methods. So def init underscore underscore init underscore underscore in bracket self, and I'm giving some variable names: customer name, account number, address, and balance. So there are 4 local variables are created here while creation of constructor with, so we call it as a parameterized constructor. Self dot customer name equal to customer name, so my based on the position based. Customer account number equal to account number, and self address equal to address, and self dot balance equal to balance. Now if you observe here how many number of local variables I have, for each variable I created one NSV, non-static variable, and that is the data which I stored it. Based on the data I need to do some kind of operation. So df deposit. So when I deposit, I need to know how much amount I deposited to in a bank in my account. So df deposit, and it's going to be self operation, comma, and the amount how much amount I'm depositing. So deposit amount. So here one local variable is there, and based on the input of the deposit amount, my total amount or a total balance will be changed. So by my balance self dot balance is nothing but the balance amount, which is non-static variable, equal to self dot balance, which is the initial amount which is there in my initial time, what I passed, maybe 1 lakh, 2 lakhs, 3 lakhs. So self dot balance plus the deposit amount. Just let me know if you're not understanding how I written this code. So when I'm passing the constructors, I just entered some deposit amount. It can be a 0, it can be some number. So that number plus deposit amount is going to be my revised balance amount. Are you getting my point?
Yes, Amar.
On df withdraw, there is another method in case if the customer is withdraw the money. So I want to know how much amount he has been withdrawn. So self comma withdraw amount. So when you say withdraw, there is an amount, some amount will be deducted from your balance. So self dot balance minus withdraw amount. So the amount whatever you have in balance amount minus withdraw amount is going to be updated back to your self dot balance. So the revised amount will be stored in self dot balance. Now you want to check what is the balance amount is available in your account. So print self dot balance. So there's another method which is created for that. Finally, I want to know full details. So display I used print customer name, print customer account number, address, and balance. So I created. Now, this is the class which is created for your operation purpose. There are four methods: deposit, withdraw, balance, and display. And there is one constructor which is initializing for each object. So for each object, how many times I created, those number of times I need supposed to give customer name, the four local variables. So C1 is nothing but first object equal to customer class in bracket details. So Amar, account number, the branch address, and account balance. So 60,000 is my balance. Now C1 dot deposit 30,000. So my initial amount was 60,000. System is going to the deposit method, and deposit amount what I given parameter is 30,000, and it will go inside self dot balance. Self dot balance is nothing but 60,000 showing as initial amount. 60,000 plus 30,000, nothing but 90,000, will be saved back to self dot balance. Are you getting? So my account will be stored as 90,000 now. Now C1 dot withdraw 10,000. So now withdraw, system will go to the method called withdraw, and self dot balance 90,000 minus 10,000. Withdraw I mentioned as 10,000 as a local variable. So system will be revised amount as 80,000. 80,000 will store back to self dot balance. Now when you say balance inquiry, system will show 80,000. You can see the first number as 80,000. Any questions? Similarly, again I did some deposit 30,000. So when you deposit 30,000, 80 plus 30, 110, 110 minus 20. Withdraw I again did, so 90. So when you say deposit display, system is going to display my full details saying that balance 90,000. Customer, again I want to print this application is developed for which bank, or these are operations that did for which bank, I want to know. So bank name, customer, class name dot variable name. So customer dot bank name. So you can see the bank name is ICICI Bank. So all these operations you can able to create with the help of classes. Now one thing if you observe, when you see broader level, deposit, deposit, withdraw, balance inquiry, all these things at a broader level, you may feel it's going to be very lengthy application. But when you break down into pieces, the logic is very simple. In the same pace, when you see the model which I create, which I am expecting you to complete the assessment, is very simple. Break down into pieces and create your methods. You'll come to know. So this is another example for the similar example. So sometimes what happened is the pages might be duplicated by mistake. This is another example for the same scenario. Parameterized constructor only. So company name, IBM, employee count. How you want to know how many number of employees are working in organization. If you want to know how many employees are working in organization, I can able to get the number with the help of head count only. Is there any other method I can get it? Any idea? Except knowing the head count, how many people are working, do you have any option? Any other way I can able to get the employee count? Yamini, are you there? Giri?
Yes, SMR.
So do you have any other option to know the employee count without having the head count? I don't think so, right? I need to count how many
No.
employees. For example,
Yes.
Giri, Amar, and Amani. 3 people means I need to count the head count only, no other option. So this application right now, what I'm creating for employee application, and the company name equal to IBM. So company variable is nothing but a static variable. Employee count equal to 0. That is also static variable. Why I'm creating a static variable? That means this employee count should not be influenced by any method. It can do operations on top of employee count, but for object to object, it should not be changed. That is the reason. So def underscore underscore init underscore underscore, nothing but constructor I created, and there are 4 variables I'm giving: employee name, employee ID, employee salary, and designation. So 4 variables, 4 local variables. For 4 local variables, I created 4 non-static variables. And finally, I'm also, when I'm entering the data, I'm just revising my employee count as +1. So employee.employee count equal to employee.employee count +1. So initially it was 0. When I start entering the details of the customer, system automatically adding one number. Clear?
Samar.
Display the employee details. Fine. Now what I'm doing is employee equal to employee emp1, nothing but object creation I'm doing. Emp1 equal to class name employee, in bracket I'm giving the details, the local variables: Amar 101, salary, and designation. So one employee has been created, one object is created, and emp2 second object I'm creating. So when I create my first object, what system will do is, yeah, emp name will take Amar, emp id will take employee id, salary, designation. This 4 will be stored. Finally, what system will do is employee.employee count. Employee count variable is nothing but static variable. Initially it was 0, 0 plus 1, nothing but 1. 1 will be assigned back to employee count. So one employee is created. Again, the system will do, when you enter the second object, nothing but emp2 dot equal to employee and the details Giri 102, salary, and his designation. System will be created second object with a second employee details. That time employee count was 1. Initially it was created Amar, so employee count was 1. Again it will do 1 plus 1 and store it back to employee count, and so on. And similarly, when I create a third object, Yamini will be created and the employee count will be 3. Now what I'm doing here is emp.display employee name. System is going to display the employee one is nothing but Amar related information. So you can see in the left hand side, the blue color, you can see Amar details. When you say emp2, Giri details. When you say emp3, Amar details. Now I want to know total number of employees. So the total number of employees are stored in employee count. So employee is the class name prefix with class name dot employee count. You can able to see the number of employees who are working. Any questions?
No, Amar.
Now I want to delete one employee, and employee count has to be revised according to that. It can be Amar, it can be Giri, or it can be Yamini. Someone has to be deleted using some method. According to that, employee count has to be reduced. So for example, Amar has been removed. He got released from the organization. That time the employee count has to be revised to 2. Can you create one more method called release?
Yeah.
Are getting my point, right?
Yes.
Easy to tell but difficult to implement. Just try it.
Okay.
So I want one object to be removed. Nothing but one employee has to be removed. Once you remove the employee, accordingly the number of employees has to be come down. This is the another example for your employee salary. In India structure, we have DA, TA, HRA, PF, and tax. There are different slabs we have. One is for tax, one is for HRA, one is for PF, one is for DA. For every operation, is dependence on based on the salary or based on the tax percentages are deciding, right? So this is the one of the example. So based on your HRA, based on your DA, based on PF, what is the tax you're going to make a payment? How much amount of the tax? Whether it's a 10% amount or 20% amount or 50% amount or what exactly? We need to know. So employee class name, employee is the class name, and application what I'm creating is employee application. It's a document string, S- and company is IBM. Static variable is not even static variable. Employee count is 0. Now I have a constructor, employee name, employee ID, salary, and designation. So I have my data, and I have my own non-static variables. Now employee equal employee dot employee count plus 1. So whenever I'm initiating a constructor, one it will be add 1 plus 1 and operations. Now I need to do some kind of DA. So DEF DA in bracket self dot amount how much I have for DA. Self dot employee salary equal to self dot employee salary plus the amount. So for basic salary, I'm adding some DA amount, daily elements. Similarly for HRA amount I'm going to be pass it. So the HR amount will be added to your employee salary. Similarly, the TA amount will be deducted to your employee salary, and PF amount is going to be deducted to your employee salary, and it will be reversed to your employee salary also because I'm giving equality sign and storing back to the same EMP salary. Now, after doing these 4 methods or any one of this method, your amount is revised. Are agreeing with that? My initial amount, whatever I given, maybe 10,000 because of your DA, HRA, TA, or PF, because of 4 operations, or because of any one of the operations, your your amount will be revised. Your salary will be revised. Are agreeing with that? Based on that salary, I want to decide which slab you belongs to, whether you belongs to 10% slab, 15% slab, or 20% slab. For that, what I'm doing is I have one more method called tax. So if the salary is greater than so and so amount and less than so and so amount, then you are going to deduct employee salary, deduct 10% amount from your salary. So employee salary minus employee salary multiply with 10%. So 10% means you cannot give 10 percentage. You're going to give 10.10. That is going to be 10%. So what system will do is it's going to be deduct 10% from your total salary and store it back to your employee salary. In case your salary is greater than 50,000, 55 lakhs and less than 10 lakhs, the system is going to be considered 15% salary from your account and it will be deducted and stored back to employee salary. So your salary minus 15% of your salary. And in case your salary is more than 10 lakhs, straight away I am deducting 20%. So salary minus salary of 20% you're going to deduct and you're going to store it back to your employee salary. So I'm just printing salary after deduction is going to be your employee salary. Now when you say display employee, the system is going to display your employee name, employee ID, salary, and designation. So when I'm passing the information Amar 101, 30,000 salary and manager, and I'm passing DA as a 1500, this amount will be 31,500. And when I'm passing HRA, 34,500, but because already 1500 is there. And when I'm passing TA value, 34,500 minus 2,000, and PF, 32,500 minus 1,200. The final outcome is going to be my total net salary. Further, the system is going to be perform your tax amount, and it is going to display name. Any questions? Giri, or
No, Amar.
now here the assignment is I blindly given one slab rate, 10%, 15%, 20% in case your salary comes. But let us go for a little complex like Indian salary structure. If you enter the salary less than 5 lakhs, just give 0% tax. If the salary is 10 lakhs, first 5 lakhs should not have any zero tax, and the second 5 lakhs there should be some percentage of the tax. If the salary you passed is 15 lakhs, First 5 lakhs, there should be 0 amount of tax. Second 5 lakhs supposed to be some percentage, maybe 2% or 5% of the tax. And third 5 lakhs and last 5 lakhs, you should have 10%, something like this. Are you getting my point? Little complex compared to the straight away. Are you able to do that, Giri and Amini? One more assignment.
Yes. We will try.
Yeah. Attributes in class. This is just a theoretical concept. So tomorrow we'll discuss about this. What are the attributes you have in a class? Just a theoretical concepts. Any questions so far? Amini and Giri?
No, Omar.
Okay, let us have a call tomorrow. Once again.
Okay.
Or Amini, or if your people are comfortable in the evening today, we'll have a class again.
Today, no, Amar.